they view time so very differently than we do, you know. Stories of my father going out to the logging camps or the fishing camps and taking me along, or some of his other 14 children along. There are 14 children in my family, almost a whole nother tribe. And you know, some days it would take him 2 or 3 days to get there. And it wasn't that it was all that far, it was just that they would stop in different homes along the way and talk and have coffee and eat and chat and, you know, visit. And that's the way it was done. I mean, it was just very different pace of life, very different understanding of time. It's like the story that the Ojibwe like to tell. It's about the guy from Chicago who was coming through the reservation in his fancy new Cadillac, and down the one road through the reservation, he sees an Ojibwe guy in the yard with a goat under his arm, and stops his car and gets out and walks over and through the ditch and into the yard, and this guy's standing there with a goat under his arm, nibbling on a bush. And he's watching that for a while, and pretty soon he says, you know, he said, what are you doing? The Ojibwe guy doesn't respond, you know, it's pretty typical. And he's just nibbling around the bush. And he said, what are you doing? And he said, well, finally he says, it's obvious, isn't it? I'm trimming my bush. And so usually when I tell that story, people will laugh at that point, you know, as if. And then the guy from Chicago says, well, but that's going to take an awful long time, isn't it? The Ojibwe guy says, yeah, but what's time to a goat?
So a few years back, we were working on a project with the Luo people in Western Kenya, and we actually started construction on the data logger on Christmas Day. Turns out there was a little goat kid born on the same day, and to express their gratitude towards me, they decided to name the goat after me. So now there's a goat called Khanjan Mehta in Western Kenya in the middle of nowhere. If you see him, say hello. And they even promised me that they're not going to slaughter it. How cool is that?